Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Juju, and in here, we're checking all the stats on the court and in real life, from counting points to finding peace. So pull up because this is Court Talk Soul War. Okay, so first things first, I want to wish everyone a happy new year. It's such a blessing to be stepping into 2026 with all you guys. And I hope that this time around, everyone is spiritually, mentally, physically focused, fully driven. And, honestly, I can't ask for anything better just to be blessed to see 2026. And now that we are in another chapter, okay, we're going to call this one New Year, blah, blah, blah. Because everybody, including myself, starts off with the routine of the New Year, new me, or New Year, same me. Everyone's got a resolution, everyone's got a plan, right? So this time around, I was looking at, not say the calendar physically. Mentally, I was thinking like, damn son, 2026, I'm about to be that 30 soon in the next couple years. And I'm looking at my kids and I'm like, damn son, like I didn't even know like time was really like going by that fast. I'm just seeing how they're just like growing like right before my eyes. And low key, I'm kind of missing it. And they live with me. And that's some weird shit. It's it's like yesterday you felt like, you were young, you had the time to do X, Y, and Z. You had time to do this, you had time to do that. Now the clock is just ticking in a way that we cannot ignore. And that's where I'm at right now. I can't ignore it. It's crazy how fast the clock moves when you are not paying attention. It makes you realize that time waits for no one. Okay. And which kind of brings me to like the heart of today, time. So like I just sat there and said, time waits for no one. But I've been realizing that time does more than just pass us by. Time is our storyteller. Okay. It tells us exactly who we were through our mistakes and through our growth. It tells us who we are right now in this actual physical moment. Okay. But if we aren't utilizing our days functionally, and that's a key word, functionally, because everybody has a day. Everybody's granted or given a day, 24 hours. All right. And when you don't utilize a day functionally, in a functional way, what's the opposite of functional? Non functional, dysfunctional. That's what it is, chaos. Okay. So when you aren't utilizing your days functionally, time will eventually tell us what will become. And that's just like an understanding that comes with like maturity and a little bit of like, season, a little hot sauce on it. You know what I'm saying? So let's just gather together and we're going to talk about how we're going to spend our seconds this year and how we're going to start making the clock work for us. All right? All right. So I want to be 100% real with y'all because this is part of what Court Talk Soul Walk is about. Honesty and just being real. I want to be real and blunt as possible, like in a circle real. So the last few months, something started to shift in me and I started on a critical mindset. Like I said earlier, looking and seeing, realizing that you're not getting any younger. Your kids is getting older. What is going to be different? I'm looking at the woman that I'm currently am and I realized the life I was living wasn't matching the woman I knew I could be. I say that because I've heard different people tell me in different parts of my life, you could be so much more. And those different scenarios and in those different times, I never really understood that. Like I just always took it from a point of view where they're saying that because I'm a good person. But hey, like things come with time and maturity. So the funny thing, right, about time, it gives you like literally gives you chances. but it doesn't give you chances literally forever. In my early 20s, I was playing with life's understanding. I was focused on the wrong things because honestly, I was unfortunate in some ways, but my survival mode was set to somewhere else. So I wasn't worried about, for example, financial stability. I was out here dependent on income that could stop at any given moment. Now, when I sat there and said I was in my 20s, I'm still in my 20s, okay? And guess what? That example happened to literally hit me in my face, especially when we had the government shutdown last year in November. If you guys remember that, it was just like crazy as fuck. And I was not prepared at all. Not saying I couldn't provide for my kids and for my home, but bills pile up. And this is the real scenarios, the real shit behind things that people really don't be talking about. But shit, my foundation was shaky. You get what I'm saying? And I realized even before I had kids, I didn't have stability in my life. I didn't take stability seriously. I was chasing stability in a different way, which was to like basically have for my own, but not stability to become a more stabilized human being. Okay. So when I had my first son, I worked, then I was a stay at home mom. I got pregnant again. I had my second son, worked, stay at home, work, stay at home mom, a fucking again. Okay. And it's nothing wrong. I'm not taking away nothing wrong for being a stay at home mom. Okay. Absolutely not. But for me, it was unstable because I had a lot of inconsistencies. Okay. I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't prepared for it when I was by myself, when I didn't have any kids. And I wasn't prepared for it when I got my kids, when I was blessed to have my kids. I always moved on a day to day. I got something I could plan for like a week or so, but to plan for like the whole month, next month, I wasn't. And I'm not saying that it's nothing wrong because everybody plans differently according to them. But for me, it wasn't working for me. Okay. I didn't build incomes. I didn't build certain things. Not saying, and part of it, and I'm gonna keep it real, I didn't utilize my time. Okay. I let other things get in the way. I let other things distract me. And majority of it was mentally. You get what I'm saying? And your mind is powerful because once you start on one path, it's hard to divert and to get back on that path that's going positive. And now I'm like, I need to utilize my time better for my sake and for my kids' sake. Okay. I am looking at 2026 as my rebirth year, spiritually, most importantly, aligned with God in each and every way possible, Him living, flowing, everything through me, in me, becoming everything. Mentally, because that was like one of my biggest challenges, and physically, to really put the movement in my process and to stop procrastination. But part of becoming better and knowing better is that you have to, in a way, you have to know your own fucked up ways. And I've known for a very long time, and that's the funny thing, a very long time that I am a big procrastinator. Okay. I'll show up for everyone else. I'll, do what I have to do. But when it comes to what I need to do for myself, I fall short. And this is not good at all because it goes down to the littlest thing. And when I say it affected me in the littlest way, I'm talking about self care. Okay. Like, I wouldn't even fucking even I will wash it, braid it up, and that's it. You get what I'm saying? Eventually going in the mirror looking like a him after a while. Like literally that's how old it like I be looking like. Hair be looking all type of ways of fucked up. Okay, because it's just like dang son, you ain't going to like you ain't gonna do your hair like you'll sit there and take your kids' clothes out, make sure they all put together, make sure you brush their teeth and wash their face, bathe them, all this type of stuff. I'm not saying I don't bathe. Don't get like try to play me. Okay. When I say like self care, like the littlest thing that's down to like, okay, do this for yourself. You know you need to get this done. Whatever the case says, you need to keep this going on. And I fall short. I always drop the ball on myself. I always throw in the towel for myself. I could be going shopping for my kids and I see something that I know I need. I'm like, I need to get a pair of boots. But I done just sat there and like, I'm just, you know what, I'm not gonna get it this week. I'll get it next week. And next week come and I never get it. You get what I'm saying? And it's just like, you know what, sometimes you really need to walk or run, and because in a lot of situations throughout my life, procrastination has been my biggest, it's like my kryptonite. And I'm a very fearful person. And that's another thing, knowing you, I'm a very fearful person. And I do not move unless I see fit. That is also uncomfortable because, there's no success without failure. And I guess you will say that, well, Juju, are you afraid of failing? And I'm gonna be honest with you, I am, because I feel like I look at failure, it really hurts me in a different way. I feel like I've been failed by people, but I failed people and I failed myself. And now I have two kids. And, I've come to realization you're going to always, how can I say this? You're going to always fail just as much as you succeed. And to understand that and to accept that, I don't think that I was in a place to accept that. But now it's just shoot, it doesn't matter if you didn't get it or it didn't work out in your way. It's the fact that you did do it and you learned something about yourself. You fought for something that you believed in. Anything is possible, but better yet, anything through God is possible, and I felt like for myself as an individual, I didn't believe in myself, my faith down. So I didn't believe that God could do it for me, especially, which was so hard for me because I've had so much traumatized faith because of everything that I've been through. And that's why I sit there and say this is a rebirth year for me because this is a year where my faith is going to surpass a lot, probably more than me, because I have to really look at myself and look at the life that I've had. And I used to be a little girl with so much faith that she couldn't tell me nothing. And now that I'm an adult and I have my own ways, I need to really look at the little girl again and understand that, what, you didn't have much then, but your faith was so big. You may not have what you want now, but it doesn't even matter. Your faith should remain. It should remain at an all-time high. You should still praise God and be grateful, be appreciative for the things that you do have and still do, because that's only going to build you as a person, build that character within yourself. So to fast forward with the whole procrastination thing, that's something I love talking with my friends, family, whatever the case may be. And when the whole thing about the whole podcast came up, I had really only told a couple of people about it, but I was very nervous and I was very shy because I didn't know how people on the outside would take me. And I feel and it's crazy, but this is just the real raw shit that I think. I gave I'm the type of person that does give a fuck what people think. I don't want to make an ass out of myself. I don't want people to violate or say things because I'm that shit is unnecessary. But then at the same time, it's people gonna be people, and there's gonna be people that's gonna like you, love you, hate you, despise you. It is what it fucking is at the end of the day. So why not just do it? It's not like you really doing it for Jeffrey. Shit, I'm doing this shit for me. And I was lacking that. I was lacking, I'm doing it for me. It's not I should not care what you think, Samantha thinks, Henry thinks, Snow White thinks. I should not give two flying fucks. I shouldn't care. But at some point in time in my life, I did. And now I am getting there where it's just don't care what nobody thinks. You could put out something that is not what they like, whatever, but somebody's gonna like it. But most importantly, do you love it? Do you like it? And that's all that really matters. And I started getting the microphones and all this type of stuff, and I was running into roadblocks. Okay, well, I don't got the laptop yet. How am I going to afford the laptop? Well, maybe I could try to do this instead and start this instead. So I was okay, I could see it coming to light, but here come this other shit along the way. This shit is fucking with my mental. I still got to be a mother. I still got to do this. I still got to do that. So I'm damn, son. Okay, well, I got the episodes, and I mind you, I hadn't wrote 2 seasons of episodes, scripts, just ready to record, ready to just put out there for you guys. And I put everything else right in front of it. But I enrolled in school and I took up journalism and film because I sat there and told myself with the field what I'm doing, me speaking to you guys or you guys hearing me, however, it goes hand in hand. I want you guys to understand that I'm a very authentic person. Anything that I speak of, but it's coming from a place of just a good place in my heart, honestly. And I want you guys to be able to visualize what I'm saying, which is a form of storytelling. I want you guys to really feel what exactly I'm saying. I want you guys to laugh. I want you guys to cry. I want you guys to be Juju, what? Nuh-uh, anything. You get what I'm saying? So I took up school, finished my first semester, going towards my bachelor's and whatnot. And I really like locked in on that. So this whole podcast thing was just on the back of my mind. The damn chair that I bought is like, sitting in a box. The equipment in my closet, collecting fucking dust in the bag or whatever it fucking do. But no, this is real shit. This is real shit. Like, and mind you, I go into this closet every day. Every single day I go into this closet. So, like I said, it was something that shifted in me. And then after like closing in on my semester, I was just like, you know what? Since I got the time and the time is about to free up, I could be working on my podcast. And now I get back to the podcast and I pull out the book and I'm looking at all the stuff. I'm like, oh my fucking gosh. But now I wanted it to be different now because I didn't spend so much time away from it. I felt like in a way I wasn't connected to it. And I wanted something that was really going to resonate with who I am as a person. Talking Boo was nice because it was like, okay, I'm a Taurus. And I want people to know, like, oh, okay, cool, bulls are this, bulls are that. But everybody know that. Y'all know that already. Y'all, like, if you know Juju personally, if you know me personally, like, you know who I am as a Taurus. April Taurus, clock it all the way. It goes up. Okay, but y'all know who I am. But I needed something that was more like people don't know what I like. People don't know what I like to speak about. That's how Court Talk Soul Walk became about. And when I like had it, I was just like, oh shit, this shit sound nice. Like, okay. And I'm gonna work on that. And ever since then, I've been working on it. I, created like a calendar like 2 weeks before like launching because my semester ended in December and we're here in January. I was just like, 2 weeks seems like, ooh, too fast. But I'm just like, shit, girl, you just finished a whole freaking semester from August to December, deadlines and everything. Stop like putting that fear in yourself. And I did it. And I did it. And I'm just so happy that, I didn't allow myself to stop me once again. That is something that I realized about myself. I really have stopped me from a lot of things. And that is something that is going to be changed without a doubt because that is on my goals, my life goals, my 2026 year in life goals is to not be afraid. Do not be fearful. Only thing you're supposed to fear is God. I'm just so blessed to even have that testimony to share with you guys because I'm pretty sure it can help one of you or somebody that you know or help resonate with somebody that you know because that's what we're here for. That's exactly what we're here for. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this part of the show is called the score segment. And the score segment goes hand in hand with the court talk. So for myself, I am a huge basketball fan. Golden State all day, every day. But let's put that to the side. How can I incorporate my love for something, which is basketball, with another love that I have of just being authentic and sharing that amongst people? I had to do some work to see how I can mesh the two. So I will be doing a score segment every episode from here on out. And I think it's really dope because I actually use this scoreboard language or philosophy on myself. And if you are a basketball fan, then you should understand majority of the language that I'm saying. But if you do not understand the basketball language, I'm pretty sure you will still be able to understand. So for the first time in 2026, okay, I had to look at my own scoreboard and I had to be honest, for a long time, I was losing by default because I wasn't even on the damn court. I was in the locker room with the number 24 jersey on, looking good, but never checking into the game. And the score starts with a major foul. So my foul for my game was procrastination. I spent all of 2025 fouling out because I would not commit. If you know, basketball is a sport where you have to commit to, like every other sport, buying the equipment and letting it sit in the closet. That was a turnover for me personally. A turnover is basically a steal What's another way I can put it? Still losing the ball, making it go out of bounds. Those are all turnovers. Planning a summer release and pushing it back, that was a technical foul. I was playing against myself and I was winning at losing. That for me was something, a lot of self-reflecting, because I didn't realize how much I was putting myself in a deeper, deeper, deeper hole. See, the thing about playing against yourself, it's like a common internal conflict or a mental tug of war. It's different parts of your mind are in opposition, leading to self-sabotage and negative self-talk. And the negative self-talk, I can definitely clock my own T on that. And it's also like a general struggle between your own personal aspirations and your immediate impulses of, like, your fears. And knowing that on an everyday basis, we create technical fouls against ourselves every day, whether we see them or not, whether we know them or not, we unintentionally and intentionally do that to ourselves. Okay. But the best thing about it is the win, the rebirth of it. So right now, my score has shifted. The moment I finished that semester, that was a shift for me. The moment that I got back on this podcast and started doing what I needed and wanted to do, that was a shift for me. And it's basically summing it all up to say, enough is enough. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final segment of the episode, and it is stat of the week. And the stat I want y'all to track this week is your functional time. How much of your 24 hours are you actually using to move the needle for yourself? Not for your boss, not just for your kids, but for your soul. So I ask you to stop playing with your potential. If your dreams are in the closet like mine's were, and if your life is on a maybe, your score is low. But the beauty of 2026, tip-off just happened. 4 quarters to be functional, intentional, and to change the narrative. It's time to play like we actually want to win. It's time to turn what ifs into I did. So my score today, I'm finally in the lead because I'm finally in the game. I'm not second guessing, I'm not staggering, and I'm definitely not going back to that closet. So growth is number 1, procrastination on 0. I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for taking a second out of your 2026 to walk with me. If this episode spoke to your journey or challenged your hustle, make sure you join the community by subscribing. For the highlights, the behind the scenes, and more real talk, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Let's keep the scoreboard moving and the soul in alignment. Until next time, keep your head in the game and your heart in the walk.